I never imagined I'd become the kind of woman who would throw away a 25-year marriage for another man. But that's exactly what I did. Now I'm alone, broke, living in a shabby apartment with a heater that barely works, and my children barely acknowledge me. My name is Danielle, I'm 46, and 3 years ago, I made what I thought was the bravest decision of my life. Instead, it turned out to be the worst mistake I'll ever make. Patrick and I met in our early 20s at a company picnic. He worked in accounting, I was in customer service. He stood out immediately. Funny, confident, the kind of man who could make you laugh until your sides hurt. He had big dreams and a spark in his eyes. 2 years later we were married, and soon after came our first child. Life rolled forward. 3 kids, a house in the suburbs, birthday parties, school plays, grocery lists. But over time something shifted. Our marriage became predictable, routine. Patrick would come home from work, eat dinner, watch TV, and go to bed. We didn't argue much, but the silence was worse. I felt invisible. I'd change my hair or buy a new dress, and he wouldn't even notice. My friends showed off their flowers, getaways, and anniversary dinners online, and I couldn't help but compare. Patrick wasn't cruel or unfaithful. He worked hard, provided for us, and never missed a school event. But was that supposed to be enough? As our children grew up, Liam moved across the country, Olivia got engaged, Ethan finished college. The house felt less like a home and more like a museum of memories that no longer belonged to me. That's when Nathan appeared. He transferred into my department, and from the start, there was an undeniable spark. He'd stop by my desk with excuses just to talk. He remembered how I liked my coffee. He listened, really listened, in a way Patrick hadn't in years. Soon we were having lunches together, sharing secrets, laughing over texts. I felt alive again, wanted, seen. Before long I was dressing better, wearing makeup again, even losing weight. Patrick only noticed the credit card bills, but Nathan noticed everything. Our friendship slid into something deeper. Late nights at the office, confessions about loneliness, and finally, a kiss I knew I shouldn't have allowed but did anyway. That kiss lit a fire I hadn't felt in decades. Soon after we crossed the line. I lied to Patrick about work trips while Nathan and I escaped to hotels. With him I wasn't a tired wife and mother. I was Danielle again. That illusion convinced me I had found something rare and worth sacrificing everything for. 2 months later I told Patrick I wanted a divorce. He didn't scream or curse, just asked quietly if there was someone else. I admitted there was. He begged me to reconsider, to try counseling for the sake of our family, but I was too far gone. I lied to myself, saying I hadn't loved him in years. I left him, gave him everything, the house, savings, retirement funds, thinking Nathan's love would be enough. But my children's reactions blindsided me. Liam cut me off completely. Olivia cried, asking how I could betray their father. Even Ethan, my quiet one, pulled away. They saw me only as the woman who destroyed their family. I believed they'd forgive me eventually, but I was wrong. At first, life with Nathan was thrilling. Weekend trips, passion, laughter. But soon the cracks showed. He drank heavily, spent recklessly, drained my retirement savings to cover his debts, and dismissed me whenever I confronted him. My children remained distant. Liam didn't invite me to his wedding. Olivia kept me at arm's length. Ethan barely spoke to me. The final blow came when I learned Patrick was seeing someone new, Heather. When I saw them together, happy and laughing, it cut me in ways I wasn't prepared for. Meanwhile, Nathan spiraled further. Gambling, drinking, wrecking my car. One day I'd had enough. While he was at work, I packed my things and left. Now I live in a tiny, drafty apartment, scraping by on my paycheck. My car barely runs. Olivia is expecting my first grandchild, but I don't know if I'll be allowed in his life. Patrick and Heather are planning trips we once dreamed of taking together. My children barely tolerate me. Sometimes I stare at old family photos and wonder if I was ever really that unhappy, or if I just convinced myself I was to justify what I did. My therapist calls it a midlife crisis. Fear of aging, fear of losing relevance. Maybe she's right. But knowing doesn't undo the damage. I saw Patrick at the store recently. He looked good, content, like he'd moved on. He treated me like a stranger. Olivia's wedding is soon, and I've been invited under strict conditions. No date, no expectations, separate seating. I'll go, even if it's painful, because it's all I have left. At night, I torture myself with what-ifs. What if I had asked Patrick to listen, told him how invisible I felt, instead of seeking comfort elsewhere? Would I still have my family, my home, my dignity? My mother used to say, "The grass is greener where you water it." I didn't water my grass. I chased an illusion and ended up with nothing. Nathan occasionally reaches out, says he misses me, that he's getting help. I don't reply. Some mistakes only need to be made once. Now, I knit a blanket for a grandchild I may never meet, hoping one day my children will see me as more than the woman who broke their father's heart. The truth is, I wasn't brave. I wasn't a victim. I was selfish. I confused excitement with love and gave up decades of loyalty for a fantasy that crumbled the moment I needed it to be real. Now all that remains is regret, and the faint hope that someday, somehow, I'll be allowed to make something right.